Happy Monday. So the question is, are you too humble? I am usually very guilty of that. Sometimes, like, when you're doing spiritual work and you're learning more, you sometimes come across that statement, be humble. Be humble in what you do. As you go within yourself, as you seek more answers, be humble. And sometimes I feel I've taken that very almost too far, if you will. Way too far. And so I'm not making this video for people um, who are always, right on point. I'm not making this for those perfectionists out there, those people who just got it going on. I'm making it for people who are like me, who take humility way too far. And that is something that I can do sometimes to a point where it hurts me in the end. There are times where you need to stand up for yourself. There are times where you need to have full confidence in what you're doing and how you're doing it. And then there are times where the humility in your heart opens the door for where you need to go. But humility does not mean you completely bow down to things. Humility does not mean you let people walk all over you. Humility does not mean that you are some imitation of some kind of deity or great spiritual person that you have read of in the past. Because the truth is, you haven't walked their walk and you don't know what that means. If you walk their walk, you might find that what you think is humble really isn't humble. Okay? Because being honest is something that we should work to do. Right? We don't do it for morality's sake. We do it because it clears paths. But when you're honest, does that always look like humility? Sometimes it just has to come out. All right? So sometimes we kind of think humility and being humble is about being quiet, not saying anything, allowing things to go on for too long. And so today what I'm saying is this: your spiritual path does not rely upon you doing all this and doing all that, especially if you're going to start working with spirits, and you need to stand up. You enter this with an open heart, but you also have to be confident in who you are and know who you are at all times, because there will be plenty of people to come along and test you, right? Whether that's in the physical world or even in a non-physical world. And that's just the truth. And I think anyone who's gone this path, they know that. We say be humble, not because, not for everyone. There's some people who are going to be humble to a fault. But we say be humble for those people who are hungry for power, hungry for, they just take it so far. And what happens is, if you're too humble, you become hungry for power. It's like that extreme creates an extreme. So you want to get towards the middle and always check that. So I'm just sharing that. Are you too humble? Okay? Ways to not be humble is this: as you're going within yourself and you are meditating and you are learning about yourself and you are acting on self-love, meaning you're accepting who you are right now, remember what that feels like. Then as you go into life, whether you are doing spiritual work or you're just doing your regular, everyday, mundane human work, if you feel at any point that person that you have fallen in love with has taken a back seat, you are being too humble. You have taken it too far. Okay? You accept yourself for who you are. I just made a video last week. Are you fighting to be yourself? Well, once you know who yourself is, let it be. That's what you're here to experience. You're here to experience that. But you have to know who you are. Knowing who you are means meditation, studying yourself, observing yourself, loving and accepting yourself. A big part of knowing really opens up to you when you're loving, when you're accepting, when you're not trying to take this part out and this part in. You're just saying, okay, this is what it is, and I'm going to accept it all. Once you see that, and you say, I love who this person is, that person should never be dimmed. Okay? I'm sharing this for people. I know you're out there. I leave all these videos because I just have this feeling that there are people out there who need to hear the message just as much as I needed to hear the message just today as it's coming out of my mouth. Okay? Don't be too humble. All right? Know what humility is. Know yourself first. Okay? All right, KikiCNC.com. Bye-bye.